I know the framing is a little bit bad, but bear with me. This is the best I could do with my phone. Okay, so just to start off, like, as a bit of a confidentiality disclaimer, anything you tell me is going to stay between you and me, unless I am a mandated reporter. So if you say, like, disclose any kind of, like, harm to yourself or others, physical or sexual abuse, neglect, things like that, I do legally have to report. But other than that, it's just between you and me. Gotcha?
Okay.
So, what's your name?
Winona.
Winona?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a last name?
Hilton.
Gotcha. Totally unrelated to Winona Ryder and Paris Hilton?
Totally unrelated.
Not at all related to the hotel chain?
No.
Your age?
I'm 21.
Mm-hmm. I take it the gender is female?
I think so.
Okay. Ethnicity?
I think it's kind of obvious.
Well, I wanted to double check. You never know. Occupation?
I'm an heiress.
Okay. Not to the Hilton though, something else?
Yeah, something else.
Okay. What, do you mind telling me what the something else is, just curiously?
My parents are celebrities. You should know them.
Okay, then. So what brought you in today?
My parents are threatening to take away my trust fund if I don't get some help because I got in trouble again.
What kind of trouble?
Well, the paparazzi were chasing me because, you know, I was just minding my own business. I really wasn't doing anything. And so I was trying to escape them. So I ran, you know, in this alley behind a restaurant and I set the dumpster on fire. And well, I didn't know it, but there was video cameras there. And when the dumpster went on fire, you know, it kind of caught this homeless man's tent on fire too. So it wasn't good.
Did he end up being okay after it? Or do you
I
not
think
know?
so.
He was okay?
Yeah.
Do you set fires like that a lot?
Not really. Just occasionally.
Occasionally? Do you know, like...
It gets me out of trouble. I feel like it like starts a diversion somewhere so I can like take off.
Okay, like about how often would you say?
Well, I've only been caught a couple of times.
So the fire setting isn't like a regular thing?
Nah.
So you don't do it a lot or you don't get caught a lot?
Does it matter?
I mean, if you feel comfortable saying it does, but...
I've done it a few times.
Okay.
Just once every month or week or so.
Every week?
Maybe.
Okay. That's fine. That's what I'm here for, is to talk to you about this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So just going into like some developmental history, do you know like what your mom's pregnancy with you was like at all?
No. My mom put me up for sale and my adoptive parents bought me off the black market.
Black market baby, okay.
Mm-hmm. So I know nothing about my birth history since I was bought.
How old were you when you were adopted?
I came to them when I was like 2 days old.
2 days? Okay, do you know like...
Or they assumed 2 days.
Okay, do you know like what weight you were when you were born? Or I guess adopted?
No.
Okay.
I don't know. They never told me.
Any like complications in your like early like infanthood?
I would have to ask my nannies. But honestly, the nannies that took care of me then kind of left. I had like a revolving door of nannies.
Okay. So like developmentally, were you pretty normal? Were there any kind of delays at all?
I would never be delayed.
No?
No delays, no.
Alrighty then. So what does your family life look like? I know you mentioned there were a lot of nannies in the picture.
Well, because my parents were always off making movies and stuff, and you know, I just had to stay there. Sometimes they took me with them to different places. We traveled a lot, and we took nannies, and sometimes I went to events with my parents, but when they wanted to show me off for their managers and the paparazzi and stuff.
Are they like still married or divorced? Have they remarried other people?
Oh, they're
never
still
married to
married
begin with?
because they care about their image. They didn't want to be divorced in the media, but you know, they both have their own lives.
So they aren't really in a relationship, but they're still married?
They're in the same room together a few times a year. But the media thinks they're happily married.
Alrighty, like what does like your home look like? Do you still live with your parents or are you out on your own?
I have a townhouse in Manhattan. It's a penthouse.
Do you like live there full time? Or do you have
Well, when I'm
multiple
not,
homes?
I travel a lot.
You travel, but it's just you there?
Yeah, and my housekeeper and my security guard.
Alrighty, like do you have any siblings or any like family you don't live with or
No, my parents just bought me for a publicity stunt. They really didn't like buy any more babies after me.
didn't have any of their own either?
No.
Alrighty.
My mom didn't want to like ruin her body with a pregnancy.
Gotcha. Yeah, so what's your relationship like with your parents? Is it pretty distant based on the way you've been
I
talking?
talk to them a few times a year. As long as I stay out of the media and the spotlight and don't get in trouble, then I'm good.
Okay. Any kind of like psychological treatment in the family or any kind of diagnoses at all?
Not that I know of.
Not on your mom's or your dad's side?
Well,
No.
I really think my mom's kind of wackadoo, but you know, she would never admit to that.
Okay. What exactly do you mean by wackadoo?
I mean, sometimes she's just nice and sweet as pie, and then other times she's like raging and angry. And then when the camera's on, she's just lovely and warm and caring. It depends on who's there to see her, what personality comes out.
Okay. Is your dad pretty standard though?
Yeah, pretty standard.
No.
Although he has a big ego. He thinks a lot of himself. And he thinks he should be the boss. And everybody should obey and listen to him.
Any kind of diagnoses in like your cousins, grandparents, aunts,
No.
uncles, great granduncle?
I really don't know my family.
You aren't close with them at all?
No. All my parents cared about was the media.
Okay. Have you ever had any kind of psychological treatment at all?
No, because that might get released to the media. So it has to stay secret. We can't like do things like that.
Any kind of psychoeducational testing?
What's that?
Like when you were in school, did they ever have you tested for like dyslexia or ADHD or anything like that?
No.
No? Okay. What's your medical history like?
Pretty healthy. I did get a boob job once.
Okay.
I'm considering getting my nose done. Can't decide.
But other than that, no other major illnesses or surgeries at all?
No.
Okay. What's your work history like?
You think I have a job?
Oh, have you ever in the past?
No. I have a trust fund. I don't need a job. I have more money than I'll ever need.
Alrighty. What's your school and academic history like? What's the highest degree you have?
Well, I was working on my bachelor's at Yale because, you know, my parents expected me to go there. But I got kicked out when I started a fire in the dorm room. And so they weren't happy over that. So I didn't get to finish, but I'm thinking about trying another university, but I don't know if Harvard would take me or not. Or maybe Dartmouth. I don't know.
Well,
Maybe Berkeley would be a better fit. That's like a hippie vibe. Maybe I just need to leave the East Coast.
Maybe. Who knows what'll end up happening. So do you have any kind of history with like special education, repeating grades at all?
No, we're perfect. We don't do that kind of stuff. If I got in trouble, you know, my parents like donated a building or something to the school and everything was fine.
Okay, so no like detentions or expulsions or anything either? Other than Yale? No? Not?
Just Yale. When you know, like that fire happened. It really wasn't my fault though.
What happened exactly with that?
Well, see, my roommate, she had this cute little dress. It was like custom made and it was so cute. So I was gonna wear it to a party and I was in the bathroom like getting dressed and she saw me wearing her dress and she like got me upset and like ripped it off of me. So I like grabbed my cigarette lighter and like caught it on fire and like was waving it in the air and all that, and it accidentally caught the bed on fire, and you know, then it kind of led to the Van Halen poster, and you know, yeah.
Okay, so it kind of
And then it went from Van Halen over to Doogie Howser, yeah, and all that kind of stuff. And so
I gotcha. Yeah.
it caught the building on fire.
The whole building, not just your little dorm room?
They put it out pretty quickly, but still, it did a lot of damage.
Okay. Did you have like any other problems at school, or?
No.
Oh, okay. What was your attitude towards school like? Were you really invested in your education, or?
I went to class sometimes because there was this really cute boy in one of my classes. It was actually my psych class. But he really didn't want to talk to me because he was into the cute redhead.
You weren't super interested in getting educated?
Why do I need an education?
Uh,
Because I have a trust fund. I don't need a job.
I mean, it can still be enjoyable. What were the schools you attended exactly?
Like college or like high school? Or
Like, did you go to the same elementary school the whole time? Did you transfer schools a lot?
No. We traveled a lot and lived in different places wherever my parents were filming. So if I was in one place, they would drop me in a private school. Sometimes I would homeschool and have tutors. One time they sent me to boarding school, but that didn't last long because those people were weird.
Okay.
And there was like bugs because it was like out in the middle of the woods.
Ugh.
And they wanted us to like hike 5 miles and didn't know. I didn't last there.
Makes sense. So what do you do for fun?
For fun, I like to go to nightclubs and bougie restaurants and concerts.
You a big party girl?
Yeah. What else am I going to do with my time?
So you don't have any kind of hobbies or anything other than that? No?
No.
Okay.
I just like looking pretty and going to parties and getting drunk and, you know.
Gotcha. Any kind of stressors in your life at the moment?
Well, yeah, my parents are trying to take away my trust fund.
Anything in the past?
Nobody ever paid attention to me.
Would you say you were neglected?
Yes.
So even your nannies didn't like really care?
They were
or
just
give you any
there because
attention?
they liked my dad. Because, you know, he was a super hot hunk mega movie star.
So
And he only hired the pretty young ones.
So did it change out a lot? You didn't really have one for long?
Yeah. I'd have them until my mom met them, and then my mom wanted to get rid of them because they were too pretty.
So your dad was more in charge of your education and your
Yeah,
upbringing?
he's the one who bought me. Mom really didn't want me, but Dad's manager thought it would be good for his career to be a father figure.
Gotcha. So what are your friendships like? Do you like easily develop and maintain friendships,
I
or
like
would
being
you say
around
you struggle
people.
with that?
People get on my nerves. They just don't understand me.
Gotcha. What would you say your quality of friendship is like? Do you have friends that you're really close to?
Well, I have my bodyguard.
Any that
He's
aren't
been around a while. Although
employed?
sometimes I think he's why I get caught.
Any other
I
friends?
think he tips off the paparazzi.
Any other friends that aren't being paid to spend time with you? I could have worded that better.
You mean employees?
Yeah, employees.
Or servants?
Mm,
Oh, employees, yeah, because I'm supposed to
I
be
don't
like
know if
level-headed.
I don't know if they're your
Is
employees.
this
or
one
your
of my
dad's
friends now
employees or what.
messaging me? Hang on, I need to make plans for tonight.
Is that a classmate?
It's actually my father. He's wanted to know if I'll meet him tomorrow for lunch. And I just can't decide. Should I go spend time with him or not? You think I should?
Dad's bothering you to go get lunch with him too?
So yeah. Okay.
Would you say you have enough friends, or do you want more at all?
If they would just see the world my way, I would want more friends. But too many people tell me I'm not a nice person. And I just think they just don't understand me. So I'd rather just not be around them.
Gotcha. Would you say you've been more withdrawn recently, or have you kind of always been about the same?
I've always been about the same. I just don't connect with people.
Would you say, do you feel a lot? Like, what are your emotions like?
I get angry a lot.
Gotcha. How do you cope with that anger?
I usually go to the mall.
You go shopping?
I don't always buy stuff.
Sometimes you just go look around.
Yeah, sometimes I get stuff I like, sometimes I don't.
So just being in the mall is kind of soothing to you?
Not really. I really don't like it there.
Then why do you keep
So I
going?
just grab what I want and go.
You buy it, or do you take it?
Why would I buy it when I can take it?
Do you know what kind of causes these feelings of anger and wanting to steal like this?
Because I don't want to take any of my parents' money. They never paid any attention to me. I don't want anything from them. So I don't want to spend their money. But I want stuff, so I just take it.
So you
Because
really
I'm
just
entitled to it. Because
you just
I'm
really
special.
want to be independent?
Mm-hmm.
I know this is a sudden topic change, but what would you say your sleep is like? How many hours do you typically get a night?
I usually like 10, 12, maybe.
Gotcha. How long does it take you to fall asleep?
Oh, I play in bed and play on my phone for hours.
Actively trying to fall asleep, or just kind of existing in
Just
bed?
existing in bed.
Right. Once you start trying to fall asleep, how long would it take you?
I never try and fall asleep. I always stay on my phone, and then I wake up and my phone's like in my hand still. So I just fall asleep while I'm on my phone.
Gotcha. Do you wake up a lot while you're asleep? Or do
Well,
you
if I'm
sleep
asleep,
through the night?
I'm awake. Like,
So you tend to sleep through the night, you don't like wake up and then fall back asleep
Not
and then
really.
wake up and you sleep through the night?
mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Do you ever wake up early and you can't fall back asleep?
4:30 every morning. Or
So-
afternoon, I should say. 4:30 in the afternoon. Let's go with that. Because I've been out at the club.
So what time do you normally go to bed?
Like 4:30 in the morning. And then I get up and go to the club. Or go to the ball. Or go to dinner at a bougie restaurant.
So you're kind of nocturnal usually.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever have any kind of nightmares?
I have a nightmare that I'm drowning. Like in the ocean. Can't breathe.
Have you ever
Nobody
had?
comes to save me. I just drown.
Do you know what could have caused those? Like, when did they onset?
I think it started when I was like 8 years old. I was at home with the nanny one time. And the nanny got mad at Dad and quit and just left me home alone. I was there for 3 days before somebody discovered that I was home alone. It was the apartment building manager that came to check out some noises because he didn't think anybody was there.
That's not very good.
After that, I just realized nobody was going to come save me. Except the apartment manager did, I guess.
It's Someone did come for you eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had any kind of substance use?
I'm really addicted to Coke.
That kind of Coke, or?
Yeah, let's go with this kind of Coke. Not
Gotcha.
the white powder that you sometimes see on my nose.
Mm. Any past drug abuse as well, or just the cocaine?
No.
No, just the...
Well, you know, sometimes I did take stuff in high school to help me stay awake in class. I don't know what they were. Some boy just gave them to me.
Okay. Were they like pills?
Yeah. And then we'd smoke joints under the bleachers. Did that too for a while.
Do you know when was the first time you used any substances? How old you were?
12.
12?
Mm-hmm.
How often would you say you use cocaine or drink or...
I don't know.
No idea, would you say like...
Every few hours. Maybe a couple days will sometimes go by without it, but depends on if I have to go to an event with my parents. If they expect me to go be Miss Polly Sunshine, then, you know, I have to clean up a little bit.
Okay. Would you say you drink a lot, or
Just when I go to the clubs.
how often is that?
Well, the clubs are usually closed on Sunday nights.
So about 6 times a week?
It's 5 times a week. I don't always. Sometimes I just don't feel like getting up and going.
Would you say when you do drink a lot, or is it just a drink here and there?
I have like 2 or 3 cosmopolitans a night. Maybe some wine. Yeah.
Yeah, I know this topic may be a little uncomfortable, but would you say you're sexually active?
That's none of your business.
No, you don't want to talk about it?
No.
Okay. Have you had any history of legal issues?
Well, I mean, there was the dumpster fire that I got caught for. And there was that one time I stole a dress at the mall. Everything else my parents have been able to cover up with money.
How many times would you say they've covered something up?
It happens 2 or 3 times a year.
Gotcha. How old were you when you think this first started occurring?
I remember being like 5 years old and playing with the fire in the fireplace, putting my toys in it and watching them burn, and it was so pretty. Especially when I burned the Barbie doll my dad's girlfriend gave me.
Oh, your dad had a girlfriend? Is
Oh,
there
he
a lot
always
of,
has girlfriends.
is there a lot of infidelity?
Yes.
Your mom too, or is it just your dad?
Mom's more discreet.
But she's still...
Yeah.
Gotcha. When would you say the stealing first started? Was it also around 5, or?
No. I was in middle school and I really wanted to dress, but the nanny said it was too short and it showed my butt cheeks. And she wouldn't let me wear it. So I had to go in the clothes drawer. So I went to the mall and got another one, but I didn't have my money, so I just took it. I slipped it in my backpack.
Other than those times, have you ever been spoken to by the police? Or just during the other?
Well, you know, I was at a high school football game and they talked to several of us trying to figure out who started a fire in the garbage can.
Was that you, or was it someone else?
The police never found out who it was.
But do you know?
I might know.
Okay. Any other legal violations that you weren't caught for?
Well, there was one time I was at the zoo and I kind of opened a cage to the birds, the aviary. I left the door open on purpose and let the birds fly out. But there were so many kids, they didn't know who did it.
How old were you when this happened?
I was 9. It was a school trip to the zoo.
Anything else you want me to know? Any other questions?
How many times do I have to come before you can tell my parents I'm cured?
It's not really how it works. I mean,
How much would it take for you to tell them I'm cured?
I don't do bribes.
Come on, like I could give you like $100.
It'd take a lot more than that, and because it'd take
How about
infinity.
this? I won't set your office on fire.
If that's a threat, again, I am a mandated reporter.
Oh, no, I did not threaten anything.
Gotcha. Well, if there's anything that feels off about this at all, or you don't think we really clicked, then by all means, you feel free to see someone else and
I
talk to
don't
them.
want to go through this again. I just want my parents to think I'm okay.
Okay.
So I can have my trust fund.
Gotcha. So there's nothing else at all you want me to know?
No.
Or... Alrighty then. I think we're done here.
Okay.
I get to turn off this video.